Hey guys, have you ever played a two-dimensional game which actually takes a lot of skill to play, considering it's only two-dimensional? Well, if you haven't, then I'm going to introduce you to the game roguelands. And in roguelands, this is the character customization screen, and you can customize your character. You can change your name here to anything you want, and you can also change your classes here. For instance, dexterity and tech. It's a bounty hunter. And you can change these by clicking on them, and then you can change it to like this, to Aether Mage, which is Vitality and Faith. And once you actually start unlocking some things, you can change race to anything you want. For instance, I have this Titan. This guy is different from the starter guy, which is the Wanderer. And you can change the variants of characters once you unlock them. You can also change uniforms once you unlock them. You can also change augments once you unlock them, and allegiance, which you get from the beginning, and you can change to anything you want. In my opinion, you should stay on the Galactic Fleet if you're just starting. And for difficulty, there's Iron Man mode and standard. If you want to play with your friends, or if you want to just solo it, then you can standard, unless you just want to go even harder in Iron Man mode, which you have no storage and you can't go multiplayer. Now, gameplay. The ship doesn't usually look like this, but I customized my ship a little bit. And once you press right click, you can go into combat mode. And when you're in combat mode, you can left click for swinging your blade. And you see these six things up here. Well, there's one blue chip, and then the rest are empty. When you press 1 through 6, you can use those abilities. And when you press 1 for the beginning part, you get swiftness, which gives you 7+ movement speed. Now you can right click again to get out of combat mode. And once you're out of combat mode, you can press tab, and tab shows your inventory. You can have a weapon. 3 of these are called droids. Droids help you mine stuff. And then you can get a shield, a helmet, armor, and 2 rings. And now I'm going to show you what these things do. So, once you first start, and you don't really know how to use everything, come up to this, which is considered the control panel. Control panel can take you to any of these places once you unlock them. And the beginning area will be this, the Desolate Canyon. It should be already set to Desolate Canyon, but if it's not, then change it. And then you press W once you go to this, which is a portal. Once you're in the portal, you can see the scenery has changed. This is an area where you can fight people. So, then again, you gotta press right click to go into battle, and then left click. Just simply attack them. And then the enemies drop things in this game. These are called, I think, Rhino Bugs. Rhino Bugs drop 2 credits and a creature eyeball. And you see this, once you're out of combat mode, you can click on this, and your droid will mine it. See, if you're not fast enough to run away from these guys, you can press spacebar to jump, or if they're catching up to you, press E to dash to right, which is that, or Q to dash to left. And this yellow bar right here is your stamina, so you can't dash forever, but you can dash for a reasonable amount of time. This blue bar is 7 out of 7, which is mana, and then the red bar is vitality, or how much hit points you have. Once you attack enough things, you can level up. Leveling up increases not all of your stats, but certain stats. Usually the one you made in the character customization screen. And these things right here are called iPods. To summon the things that come in the iPods, you have to touch them. And this right here is also a hornet. Hornets are usually the most annoying thing in this area. So you do that, and then this thing comes out. This thing can go through blocks and is reasonably annoying. To summon bosses in this game, in this area, you'll need to kill 5 of these iPods. If you're just starting, I wouldn't recommend fighting 2 iPods at the same time. And this is the NPC of the area. An NPC is a non-controllable character, and once you press W on him, you can talk to him. And he says greetings, and then you can left click, and then you can go through the text. Ringable usually gives you some health packs, which increase your red bar. As you can see, I'm a little bit damaged, and then once I press 6, which is for my hotbar keys, I am now 7 out of 7. And now I will show you how to summon the boss of this area by touching this guy. And then Lenny, which is your guy who helps you, tells you Ugarok is heading your way, which is this, which is basically the mother of the iPods. If you're first starting, I wouldn't recommend fighting the boss. After a couple of levels, he could get hard. He does give a decent amount of EXP, which is short for experience points. And as you can see, I am now level 6. And going through this area, you'll see these machines. Once you press W on them, they will give you credits, scrap metal, and even experience points. Now that we made it to the end of the level, you see 3 portals here. And in a desolate canyon, you'll usually either see hollow caverns, deep jungle, or another desolate canyon. If you first start, and if there's a desolate canyon, another one, I would recommend going in there. But if there isn't, the hollow cavern. This is the shop area. In this area, you can upgrade your weapon, like this. As you can see, shield EXP, helmet EXP, armor EXP, ring XP, and weapon XP. The XP scales with the more enemies you killed. As you can see, I didn't kill a lot of enemies, so I only got 100. And once you wait for the right time, you can pick up the one you want to get. And look, see, I got weapon EXP, and now my Aether Blade is level 2. In this area, you can use your credits to buy anything. Monster Claw. Oh, yes, and this is a chest. Once you press W on the chest, you can get all sorts of items. And all of the items in this game have tiers. For the Creature Eyeball, it's Tier 1. Flutterfly, Tier 1. Tasty Herb, Tier 1. And Planet Stone is also Tier 1. But these things are different. Monster Claw is Tier 2. Spicy Seed is Tier 3. And Chitin Fragments Tier 3. And the Glow Shrooms Tier 2. Not all things have tiers though. As for instance, credits don't have tiers. Health pack ones technically don't have tiers. And scrap metal, they don't have tiers. Only the loots have tiers, which are monster parts, plants, bugs, and ore. Each tier have their own monster part, bug, plant, and ore. And in this area, there are usually some NPCs around here, which you can't talk to, but you can, if you want to, kill them for more EXP. And then once you go to this area, this guy is a quest bot. The quests are usually easy at the beginning, like killing like 2 iPods or 1 iPod. But after a while, they get hard. And this is your storage. The storage is usually like 5 storages, but I can't show you that because I'm in Iron Man mode. And this is the combat chip. This is where you can put your combats away for more useful ones, or put old ones away that you don't need. And now this is the portal to go to the next area. This is the Hollow Caverns, considered the second easiest place in the game. And these are bugs. Well, spiders technically. They're usually easy to kill. And this is like the meteorite version of, well, not meteorite version, but this obstacle for this area. If you want to get to the portals, the best way to get there is to usually go top and then right. As you can see, I'm going top. and then going right. After that, that is the mini-boss. The mini-boss of this area is actually considered hard. I will not fight him because I am not strong enough. And you can see I've only killed one thing in this area, so I got basically no EXP. And you see that tiny yellow bar under the Aether Blade? That is the EXP bar. As you can see, I got more EXP now because I got it from here. And if you want to go back to your ship, just go to the left side, and then you can press return to ship. If you want to learn how to do the quest lines, and if you're a Galactic Cadet, then you will want to find this. This is basically just a door to this area. This area has full of NPCs that you can talk to if you want. The most useful NPC for when you're wanting to go to late game is this guy. When you don't want to use a lot of stuff, you can click on this and then click on any material and get it for credits. And then if you have extra scrap metal, you can buy scrap metal blocks or scrap metal walls to decorate just your ship. This guy is Minister Odin. Odin is for the Church of Faust, but I cannot talk to him because I'm not a Church of Faust. This guy is Commander Zeg. He's a Grey Enigma. This guy is Card Collector Zax. He tells you how to collect cards in this game. This guy is Monster Crafter Olaf. After you killed a certain amount of enemies in a region, which is like Desolate Canyon, Deep Jungle, Hollow Caverns, Shroomtown, Ancient Ruins, Plaguelands, Bifrost, and Molten Crag, you will unlock an Ultra Boss, which are currently the strongest boss in the game. These people are Roland and Effie. These guys are the Starlight Rebellion. And this is the Galactic Cadet. This is Lenny. Lenny is our personal navigator during missions, and he wants to conquer the galaxy. And this is Atlas. Atlas, if you're a Galactic Cadet, is the guy you want to talk to. And he wants you to defeat big, round Tyrannog monsters, which are the mini-boss for the Desolate Canyon. Most of the NPCs in this area are completely useless though. This guy tells you how to play. For instance, jump with space and dash with E or Q. Jump dashing is a lot faster. For jump dashing, it's just simple. Jump, dash. It's faster than just normal walking. And now I'm going to show you guys how to use all the equipments in your ship, besides the chest, because I'm accidentally an Iron Man. And this is the Gear Forge. The Gear Forge is an area you can use emblems for. Emblems are made after you get 10 of one item and turn it into another item. An emblem, sorry. And then you can turn pretty much every single loot into an emblem. This is a ship droid. You can upgrade your ship droids with credits, which I don't think you start with any ship droids when you first start. Ship droids usually collect world fragments, which are used for later in the game. You also sometimes collect emblems. This is the alchemy station. You can pretty much make anything in here. That isn't an ore. You can't use ores in this one. Look, boom. And then that's ashen dust. You don't want to make ashen dust. You want to make potion like this. This is a null damage potion. Null damage completely reduces damage by half for 5 minutes. This is something you want to make if you play this game a lot, because it will make the game easier. And this is the combat ship area. Monster cards are things like this. This is an Ugarok card. It's what you get from beating Ugarok, and it's a 1 in 75 chance to get. And now I'm going to show you guys what late game is considered. Late game is considered having basically max stats. For instance, if you have, which is the Crusader helmet, which is one of the augments you get, 125 HP is the max. 100 mana is max. 100 stamina is max. With 100 stamina, you can basically dash everywhere. And then the null damage potion, which is considered really useful for late game. Mana pots, which you need to use a lot if you're a ranger, mage, pretty much every class actually, never mind. And elixirs, which are the most useful thing in the game. They restore 12 health, give you 30 mana, and 100 stamina. To make elixirs, you need tier 5 stuff, which is glowflies, shiny scales, and aether bulbs. And now I'll show you guys how to use the chest. The chest area you can max out using the upgrade button, which I have already done. In this chest area, you won't want to usually organize it. For instance, this is my emblems, and this side is for my rare items. These are my weapons. These are my loots. These are my armors. These are my cards and shards, quest items for saving, and some potions. These are my gear mods. This is just random stuff. This is just more random stuff. These are some useful stuff I need to keep. These are just for joking around and broken items. These are for characters, and this is my credits. When you get far in the game, you'll eventually max out your weapon, which is considered to be level 10. Once you max out your weapon, you can make a prism. Prisms are usually for late game, and prisms make basically a better version of their weapons. Yeah, their own weapons, sorry. Prisms can be pretty much used on everything that is craftable. For instance, this helmet right here, which is considered to be the best helmet in the game, I did not craft it, so I cannot turn it into a better version. This ring, you cannot craft rings in this game, so you cannot make a better ring. This weapon is a mega weapon, which is the one you need to make with a prism. Using different prisms, you can make different weapons. For instance, if I used an Aetherlight prism on the weapon for this, which was made out of the Ragnarok wouldn't turn into this weapon. It would turn into a different weapon. But in order to make this weapon, you would need a prism of Darken Shards. And also, in this game, you see that my gear is now different. It is no longer like gray in the background. It is now shiny and gold. These weapons are considered to be legendary. Legendary is the rarest armor type in the game. For instance, it goes common, which is like this, rare, which is blue, epic, which is purple, and then legendary. Some of the weapons are already made legendary. For instance, the mega weapon. The mega weapon is a weapon you get for beating the Galactic Cadet. It is made legendary, and you cannot get a different version of it. And for other stuff, you can make, like for instance, I think I have one around here. No, I don't. You can make an Aether Blade into a legendary, which you would need luck for. Or boss drops, for instance, Ugarok's Tooth. It's a rare item you can get from killing Ugarok. You can just get a normal Ugarok's Tooth, or get lucky and get a legendary one. And once you've gotten strong enough, you could go to this area called Old Earth. Old Earth is a shop area where you can use these, which are called champion badges. Champion badges are usually badges you get for getting over level 100. Sorry, stuttered for a second because of this. It's bothering me. After every level over 100, you get one champion badge. So To get the cluster bomber, I would need to be level 109 because it's every level above 100. Or to get vitality 10, I would need to be 110. And once you play for this game for a while, you usually get a feel for it. So you learn how to dodge faster, how to avoid things, how to use your skills efficiently. And you see the glitter bug, it looks hard to catch, but eventually you'll just get it. And after going through this area, you can refresh the shop. And for wealth trophies, which are things you get for getting a full stack of credits, you can get one for 999 cash. And with wealth trophies, you could get these helmets. These helmets usually look ridiculous and for vanity purposes, so their stats are not really good. And I believe they all come in common. And as you can saw from that bug that I killed, it dropped mystery gifts. Mystery gifts you could get from 1,000 world fragments or killing more glitter bugs. You can get any type of thing from the mystery gifts. For instance, this helmet, called the 4th Age helmet, is a 1 in 100 drop from the mystery gift. The 4th Age shield is a 1 in 100. 4th Age gun, 1 in 100. After playing for this game for a while, you get a lot of portal uses to other places. For instance, the Cathedral, which is the hardest place in the game, you will eventually learn how to farm it. And now how to farm, basically, the best loot in the game. So once you get this far in the game, you want to learn how to get tier 6, tier 5, or tier 4 stuff for good potions. Like for instance, as I mentioned before, the elixirs, which are tier 5. So if you want to make tier 5 stuff, you could go to the Whisper Woods. The Whisper Woods is one of the hardest places in the game, but once you get strong enough, you'll eventually learn how to beat them. And when you mine those things, you can get glowflies, aether bulbs, and I believe there's one more. This area has ore, I'm pretty sure. Just gotta find it. No? Am I mistaken? It might be a monster drop. This area did not have ore? This is tier 5 loot. No, this area doesn't have ore. It's another area. But in this area, you would want to mine as much as you can before you fight the boss, because the boss in this area is pretty reasonably hard, but he's pretty easily to summon. These units actually have a decent amount of HP, around 1,000. So if you're doing about 200 damage, then this area might be hard for you. Considering I do over 1,000 damage, I one-shot them. And then we got these still. And the null damage potion for most of these areas are going to be really useful. As you can see, I took 11 damage from that. Wait, how much damage did you do to me? No, gotta let it hit me. Just wait for a second. Technical difficulty. They are 9 damage. You guys saw that, right? I used a null damage potion. And 4 damage now. 9 to 4 may not seem like a big difference, but when you only have a limited amount of HP, it is a huge difference. And now to summon the boss of this area, You see this baby? You touch the baby. And now you wait for the boss. The baby's gone now, and now the boss is angered. This boss of this area is called Moloch. Moloch is reasonably difficult, but he shouldn't be difficult to the point I can't be able to beat him. You want to dodge his attacks because his attacks do a decent amount of damage. And there, Moloch's dead. And now that the area is cleared out, you just want to go for the portals. Unless you didn't mine everything. And now, since we're in the Whisper Woods, you could go to the Demon's Rift, more Whisper Woods, or Molten Crag. At this point in the game, you want to farm, but you don't know what's a good place to farm. And now, more EXP because our place is harder. And then the same old shop. I don't think drops are higher now since we're in a higher area. I think it's still around the same. And now with the Demon's Rift. This area only has one enemy. And the enemy, as you guys can guess, is right here. He isn't active until you touch him. You can get a special unit from this guy for if you kill him without him hitting you. But I have already unlocked this guy, so I'm going to be reckless and let him hit me. This guy drops a decent amount of XP around, I believe, 5,000 to 7,000. Which is pretty good if you want to farm. And these are also portals. 3 portal uses. More machineries. And more Demon Rifts. However, the Demon Rift does not give you any of the EXPs. So if you want to farm this area, but you want some weapon EXP, then I guess you should go to a different area. Considering the area gives a lot of XP, it's just not a good area to farm. Well, weapon EXP. And now the Cathedral. The Cathedral is one of the hardest is the hardest place in the game. And you got weird enemies, like for instance this enemy, which is reasonably strong, so I recommend the null damage potion. For instance, I had the null damage potion on, but he did 30 damage to me. You want to be careful in these areas because they are really strong, but they do drop a lot of EXP. And that is a Cthulhu. Cthulhus are the fastest enemy in the game and deal the most damaging, but they have little HP. You want to dodge that bar because that bar will light you on fire and do around 60 damage. If possible, try to avoid the Cthulhu. The Cthulhu is possibly the hardest thing to defeat in this game, besides the bosses. For instance, I was being bombarded right there, so I had to back off. As you can see, I'm getting tons of levels from this area alone. This area I wouldn't recommend you go to unless you're doing around 500 to 600 damage with a ranged character. If you're doing this in melee, I recommend you have max HP, have one of the best skills in the game, and do around 800 damage. This area is that hard. For instance, I almost died right there. This is the final shop area considered. This is the area where you can talk to this guy if you're the Church of Faust. In this area, you can get tier 4 to 6 emblems and craft it here. Sadly, I do not have any tier 4 6 emblems on me. If you go to the shop, you might be lucky and you might be able to get some tier 4 to 6 emblems. And I'm unfortunate and did not, so I cannot show you that right now. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, I showed you guys all the places. I showed you good places to farm. Yeah. I hope I didn't start it too much, and I'm sorry if I did, and hope this helped you get better at the game.